So expensive.
And look, 8 for.
Shakur is not going to lay down. It's going to be skill versus skill. Teo's a very talented, skillful fighter. Shakur is a very extremely talented, skillful fighter.
Manny Pacquiao recently stopped by Teofimo Lopez's training camp, spending time with him as he prepares for his upcoming fight against Shakur Stevenson. The boxing icon didn't just show up for appearances. He offered advice, shared small technical insights, and helped lift the overall energy in the gym. The session reflected Lopez's strong focus and commitment, reinforcing that he's taking this challenge seriously and embracing the difficulty of what's ahead. Teofimo Lopez's training camp for the Shakur Stevenson fight looks like that of a seasoned champion, working with intention and belief. Lopez has talked openly about adjusting his sparring sessions to closely match Stevenson's movement and rhythm. He's brought in sparring partners who mimic Shakur's footwork, angles, and reactions, so he can sharpen his timing and distance. This isn't just about physical conditioning. Lopez is deeply invested in game planning, studying Stevenson's tendencies, so he can make real-time adjustments in the ring. His preparation clearly balances physical readiness with detailed tactical awareness for fight night. Teofimo Lopez and Manny Pacquiao share a respectful and friendly connection that surprises many fans, especially given the gap in their eras and careers. Both fighters consistently speak positively about one another, showing admiration for each other's discipline, talent, and accomplishments. Their chemistry has even sparked talk among fans about a possible exhibition bout, with many imagining the excitement of seeing a legendary veteran face a young, dynamic champion in a controlled, entertaining setting. While nothing official has been discussed, their mutual respect keeps the idea alive and highlights how boxing continues to connect fighters across generations.
Fighting in Saudi Arabia because that's what they want to do. They want to do like some of the retired fighters put on like super fights and stuff like that.
No, yeah, absolutely. You know, those are things that are coming around as well. Exhibitions, maybe me and Pacquiao. Who knows? We do stuff like that.
You and Pacquiao's an exhibition.
Oh, that'd be huge.
That would be huge.
That'd be huge.
You think you think you would be able to take him?
Yeah.
Easy.
It's good. I love southpaws, and I will fight the greatest one of times.
Why do you say you love southpaws?
I love southpaws because I grew up with them. And haven't you seen my track record from Magdaleno to Lomachenko?
The Wade podcast explored Shakur Stevenson's mindset heading into his fight with Teofimo Lopez, focusing on his drive to become an all-time great. Stevenson doesn't care about age differences or weight classes. His goal is simple: face the best available competition and push past anyone standing in his way. That mentality defines how he approaches his career. It's about stepping up or being moved aside. Teofimo responds with confidence, reminding Shakur that fighting him is not the same as facing smaller opponents or Olympic-level amateurs. Stevenson counters by explaining that being inside the ring with him is completely different from watching from the outside. He emphasizes how difficult it is to get past his timing, defense, and footwork. Both fighters believe they can expose levels the other hasn't experienced. The discussion highlights how mental preparation and tactical thinking will be just as important as physical conditioning when they finally meet.
You know, maybe it's just the mind games of like trying to get Shakur to see all versions of him. Like, oh, you know, I'm laid back, you know, super humble. Shakur deserves his respect. And at the press conference talking crazy like that. I've never heard the Room 41, but the way you got to do it, Teo is messing up the dick joke. The way you got to say it is you got to make Shakur say what you said. Yeah, I'm going to take him to Room 40. Room 40, yeah, room for these nuts. That's the way you, not just, you know, you hit the punchline before we even get there. Even this was the face-to-face at the presser.
God gifted. It's my time. God gifted. It's my time. It's my time. I've been waiting on this forever. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate y'all.
Oh, you all already knew that T.O. Senior was going to be talking. Y'all knew that.
You gotta prove it. Oh, we gonna see.
The prize is right up here. The prize is right up here.
Rick is saying the prize is right up here. He's talking about the ring belt, and that's true. I mean, the most prestigious belt in boxing. That's fair.
We stay working. You can't fight for him. I fight for him. You can't fight for him.
Zab Judah expects fireworks when Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez finally meet, describing the matchup as skill versus skill at the highest level. He points out that both fighters are confident, motivated, and unwilling to back down. Judah sees the fight playing out like a chess match, with Shakur's accuracy and technical ability potentially giving Lopez serious problems, despite Teofimo's power and experience. He acknowledges that while Stevenson's amateur career was outstanding, some critics question the depth of his professional resume, making this bout a major test. At the same time, Judah emphasizes that Lopez has proven himself at the top level for years. Still, Shakur's style and skill set may pose challenges Lopez hasn't faced before. Judah believes the fight could be competitive, but ultimately leans towards Stevenson controlling the pace. He frames the bout as a high-level showdown between two elite fighters ready to make a statement on a big stage.
It's two dog fighters. You got two dog fighters that's coming in there to solidify themselves as the game changer. Teo's not gonna lay down. Shakur is not gonna lay down. It's gonna be skill versus skill. Teo's a very talented, skillful fighter. Shakur is a very extremely talented, skillful fighter. And yes, we're gonna see a hell of a great chess match that night.
Yeah, I believe so. Now, I think in your earlier predictions, you felt like Shakur will be stopping Teo. Am I right?
Annihilation, decapitation. Is that what you're talking about? You going back to my comments? Yeah. I feel like Teo's a very dominant force, but I just think that the skill of Shakur Stevens is gonna overwhelm Teo. It's gonna overwhelm him. Yeah. He's never seen this type of action before yet.
Now,
No disrespect.
Okay.
My little man, you know what I'm saying? Just saying, yo, it is what it is.
Looking at, the stats, the resumes, we see that, Teo has been at this high level for a long time.
Right.
When it comes to Shakur Stevenson, his amateur record speaks for itself, but at the same time, not necessarily getting the notable names that people know in America. People are also saying that they're kind of discrediting Shakur's resume, saying he hasn't really fought anybody. Teofimo Lopez would be that first person. Do you feel like that could be something that, I don't know, it could be a lot closer?
Dan Raphael shared his thoughts on the Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez matchup, showing respect for both fighters and their career paths. He notes that while Lopez hasn't always looked dominant early when stepping up against elite competition like Josh Taylor, he still delivered when it mattered. Stevenson, on the other hand, has been steady and effective throughout his career, even if his style isn't always flashy. Raphael points to Shakur's success from featherweight to lightweight and his ability to perform under pressure. Stevenson earned a silver medal representing the United States, while Lopez competed for Honduras. Raphael also highlights the importance of the location, Madison Square Garden, tying both fighters to their roots and providing a powerful atmosphere. Overall, he describes the fight as a meaningful and highly anticipated meeting between two of boxing's top young talents.
Came time to step up and take on the champ, which was Josh Taylor. He shined in that fight. So when Teofimo is matched, in a big time opponent, he's delivered, and he's done it, a number of times. And, he looked really good against Taylor. And Shakur, by the way, similar thing. He's been flawless through his career. He maybe not the most exciting at times, but Shakur Stevenson gets the job done. He has won titles from featherweight up to lightweight. When his back was against the wall, quote unquote, and everybody had big expectations, and he had a lot of pressure on him not to make it a boring fight and all that kind of business. What did he do in his last fight against William Zepeda? He stood in the pocket, he fought the guy, and he won handily. He shut him out, basically. He won like 10 rounds to 2. I mean, he fought a unification fight against Oscar Valdez, a fighter that, even though he might have been favored, thought maybe Oscar could do some damage because he was a good puncher and had a great amateur background and a great chin and all those types of things. And he went out there and he routed him also. I mean, so, these are two of the best young elite fighters in boxing. And their fight has been talked about for a long time. They spent most of their careers together at Top Rank, which was a fight. If you ever ask Bob Arum, He'll tell you that was a fight that Top Rank, down the road had their eye on at some point when they were going to be, closer in weight to each other. Because obviously Teofimo had started off, a little bit heavier than Shakur, but they would eventually catch up to each other. They're both Olympians, by the way. Teofimo he's American, but he fought for his parents' country of Honduras in that same Olympic Games. And with Shakur Stevenson winning a silver medal for the United States. I mean, they have all kinds of accomplishment. I do think they have a healthy respect for each other. They know each other for all the years being at Top Rank events together. They fought on the same undercard twice when the main event was Terrence Crawford, who was obviously very close to Shakur, but Teofimo was on those shows also. So, and they're doing it in the right place. This is not a fight they're taking to a place that doesn't make sense. All respect to the big matches they do in Saudi Arabia, but this is...
Paulie Malignaggi and Chris Algieri discussed how difficult it is to predict fights involving Teofimo Lopez because of his unpredictability. Lopez can look brilliant one night and inconsistent the next. Malignaggi points out that Lopez often performs at his best when he and his father carefully select fights and stick to a clear plan. Algieri adds that evaluating Lopez depends on which version shows up, the disciplined and focused fighter or the emotional and reckless one. Their discussion highlights how talent, preparation, and mindset can shift outcomes dramatically, making Lopez a dangerous opponent when everything clicks. From a betting perspective, they agree that backing him is never a simple decision.
Which version are you going to get? That was going to be my point. I'm sure that's based on his inconsistencies, because he can be so damn good, but he also can be pretty damn bad. When it came to Moses, he was not good. It was not a good night.
Oh, like a street fight.
Yeah, it was shots. And I think I was a guest on that on the call for that show, and I said I got one guy fighting with ego and I got one guy fighting with discipline, and that's what it was, because he just went out there and was just trying to knock him out from round one, and it was not working out well. Now, is he going to do that against Shakur? Absolutely not. But also, we've seen him struggle with guys like Jermaine Ortiz. We've seen him struggle with who was the Canadian guy who I mean, not that he struggled, but he failed to really impress. Sander Martin, another one that he a lot of people thought that he could have dropped the decision.
Were those fights that people counted him out in? No, that's the thing.
No, he was heavy favorite, and they were fights that did not entice him. And if you look at his best performances, there are guys that him and his father have chosen to fight. He called out Lomachenko years before they fought, and people were like, whoa, kid, pump the brakes. No, they saw something. He called out Josh Taylor a weight class below and years out, said I could beat that guy. He called out Jaron Ennis. I mean, obviously he didn't fight Jaron, but when him and his father put their heads together and they see something in a guy and they end up picking a fight like this that's dangerous where he's the underdog, watch out.
I wouldn't bet it.
It's the unpredictable nature of the fight. Another thing, the unpredictable nature of fighters, which is going to bring up an interesting debate about Joseph Parker, who has vowed to clear his name. Gentlemen, we have a little bit of inside baseball discussion about this, right? We're all fighters. None of us are angels. The idea that Joseph Parker didn't get caught using PEDs. He got caught using cocaine. It was a recreational drug. That's what he tested positive for night of the fight. He's come out and said, Paulie, if I did blow, I'd just say it. I didn't.
Shakur Stevenson's trainer, Wally Moses, sent a clear warning to Teofimo Lopez about underestimating Shakur's power and skill. Moses explains that Shakur's style adjusts to whoever is in front of him and consistently finds a way to win. Stevenson's success goes far beyond national competition. He dominated internationally, earning recognition as a world-class amateur and being named IBA Fighter of the Year. His record reflects extraordinary consistency, with wins stacking up across thousands of bouts. Moses stresses that Shakur's achievements in both the amateur and professional ranks prove his elite level. No matter the weight class, Stevenson's technique, discipline, and experience make him a serious threat, and Moses believes it's only a matter of time before those qualities overwhelm top-level opponents like Lopez.
Prevails over every style in the world so far. Shakur wasn't just an amateur boxing champion. He was a world amateur boxing champion on more than one occasion. Also, he was the IBA Fighter of the Year, making him the best boxer in the world, an amateur boxer. So, Shakur is looking for those same things from Zay Quinn in terms of inside the professional rankings. But Shakur has been proven that he's been the #1 boxer throughout his life. He was #1 in every category that he boxed from a kid coming up. You know what I mean? Here in the U.S., he had eclipsed every boxer over like 1,000, almost close to 2,000 points in terms of his winning. So, it's not a thing that, people be talking about what has Shakur done. They know what Shakur done in his amateur rank. And Shakur done everything that they never were capable of doing. So, it's only going to be a matter of time before he proves, this caliber of fighter that he is to the world.
Now, as far as the weight jump goes, what's that preparation like? That'll be his 4th weight class.
Well,
what do you look to? Do you look to add more muscle? What's the proper way of adding weight when jumping up?
Let me give you an example. All right, let's look at when Terrence fought Canelo, right?
Yeah.
Everybody talking about him walking up and moving up here. The weight was going to be a problem, but a lot of people don't know what these cats really walk around at. So, the weight.
Chris Algieri also shared honest thoughts about the build-up to the Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez fight. He admits some of the pre-fight promotion felt awkward, especially during the press conference and the efforts by both fighters, along with Teofimo's father, to create tension. Algieri notes that despite the trash talk, the fighters seem to share mutual respect and a friendly history from their top-ranked days. While there may be some jealousy tied to career paths, the overall tone felt more uncomfortable than hostile. He points out that modern fight promotion often leans into exaggerated antics for attention rather than real animosity. Despite that, Algieri believes the fight itself is extremely compelling. Both fighters are in their physical prime, highly skilled, and stylistically fascinating. Whether it turns explosive or remains measured, it promises a high-level chess match that fans won't want to miss.
I don't know. I hate to say it, but I think Dan might be right. It might just be a boring fight. I mean.
All right, Boise, Idaho in the house. Appreciate the call. Did you watch the presser? Because I intended to go, but I got sidetracked. I went back and watched it last night. Did you catch any of the clips?
I saw clips, yes.
So I watched it back and got a couple thoughts. Like, it's hard to drum up the animosity. I believe they're friendly. Like, I watched the thing that Ring put out afterwards with Versace, Rick Reno, the Versace podcast. Just gave him a pop, I don't know why. But they went on the show and they just talked about how much they knew each other growing up, how much they respected each other, how much they were signed with Top Rank. There was a little bit of animosity, a little bit of jealousy in the terms that Teofimo was moved a lot better than Shakur was. One is still technically with the promotion, but one is not, had a famous exit. Yeah, I thought it was a little cringe, but look who we're dealing with. It's Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo's dad, who was the star of the presser. Yeah, cringe is the word, but let's hope it's a good fight.
It's also 2025 going on 2026. We live in the world of cringe. I mean, the cringe sells. Cringe gets clicks. Cringe gets eyes. And I say this all the time. Marvin Hagler is rolling over in his grave of all the cringy ass fighters that are out there that are juking and jiving for cameras. It's just in clicks. It's absurd, the world we live in. But at the end of the day, these are two super talented guys fighting in their absolute physical primes. Say whatever you will about this fight, whether it's going to be Hagler-Hearns round one, or if it's going to be a slow fight. But regardless, I think this is a very, very good matchup, and I think it's going to be a good fight. I'm going to be watching.
No matter how strong Teofimo Lopez's resume appears, Shakur Stevenson presents a very different kind of challenge. He isn't just skilled; he's calculated, fast, and adaptable, especially under pressure. Stevenson's ability to manage distance, read opponents, and adjust on the fly makes him difficult to solve. While Lopez brings power and experience, Shakur's timing and precision have the potential to neutralize even heavy hitters. On fight night, Stevenson is expected to impose his rhythm and control the fight, showing why many see him as a next-level talent. Lopez may have accomplishments, but Shakur is determined to prove he operates on a different level.
Stevenson really might 12-vote Teofimo Lopez. People love talking about this resume that Teofimo Lopez has. Granted, it's a really good resume. He has guys like Lomachenko under his belt, Josh Taylor. But if I'm being honest, Josh Taylor played into what Teofimo Lopez wanted him to do so perfectly. Lomachenko, he lost that fight more than Teofimo won that fight, if I'm being honest. And against lower-level competition, like a Steve Claggett, like a Jermaine Ortiz, like a Kambosos, he struggled against these dudes. And people talk about a focused Tio. A focused Tio was only unfocused with one fight in his whole life, and that was George Kambosos, and that's the only fight I'll give y'all. No matter who Shakur fought, he's looked great against everybody. No matter it's the bums that y'all say he fights or the number one guys in the division, Shakur Stevenson has dominated everybody. It's gonna be a sight to see. Shakur Stevenson on fight night is going to make fireworks happen, and I can't wait to see it. I've already gave my stance on this, but Shakur Stevenson it's just his time, and Tio's just.
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.